Don't go too crazy with anything else. All right, cool. So your login page is going to look like this. Now this will be updated to say proposal flow pretty soon. But you guys are the first team using it, so we just want you to be able to use it as quick as possible and go from there. You will get logins very soon. We'll be creating your accounts in the background, so just keep an eye on an email from Sunbase saying that you have an account ready to move forward. Once you do, you'll receive a link to actually log into Proposal Flow, and your login page will look like this. At that point in time, you're going to sign in. And you're going to come across a couple of different things. First of all, your sales. So you'll be able to like look at your a quick view of like how many sales you have, how many proposals you have out there, and all that type of stuff. Overall, pretty simple. We don't want to like give you guys too much stuff to get overwhelmed by. We just want to keep these screens as simple and as stress-free as possible, right? So your main screen is going to look like this. From here, you can go to sales. And once you go into sales, you have an action menu right up here that will allow you to add an account. Again, trying to keep this as simple as possible so that you can pretty much do everything right from the beginning. Before I press the create account button, one of the things that you'll see here is all of the accounts that you've currently been working on. They're all going to show up here. And you can see the statuses as to where they're at here as well. So you'll see these pills kind of like light up as they start going through like their sales journey, right? So for example, this testing account here, this designer one that we've been doing, like you can see right now it's just in design because it hasn't moved beyond that. And that's the whole point of it. It's just trying to make sure that like you can look at things really quick, know exactly where they're at, and kind of go from there. Any questions up to this point?
No, it's pretty straightforward. Is this good with iPad and laptop?
Oh, good question.
That's a great question. I would always say laptop first. iPad, the platform itself works really well. The only issue you'll probably have is on the designer. So I would design on the laptop if possible. But we are working on trying to get the design to be as smooth as possible on your iPad as well. It's almost there, but for now, laptop is king.
Yeah, that like max fit thing you'll see in a little bit. We've done a lot of improvements. Eric, maybe make a note to test that again.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, Danny, I mean, try it on your iPad. We'd, part of you guys being in here is to give me feedback. So if it's miserable on your iPad, Danny, or if it's like, you know what, it works great, let me know. Because you guys aren't going to be really designing systems. You're going to be sending it to our designer. You can design it if you want. So it's really just that max fit mode. So yeah, try it on the iPad. Let us know. But
realistically, on the max fit mode, it does work pretty well on the iPad.
Oh, nice.
Every once in a while, like there's a ghost movement that happens here and there, but for the most part, it's fine, and it's very easy to kind of reconfigure yourself if something like that does happen. So it's definitely way beyond what it used to be even a couple of weeks ago.
Nice.
So yeah, with that being said, that's a great question, Dan, though. It does work on your iPad. Overall, this UI transfers perfectly to like your iPad screen, and you can kind of go from there. So with that being said, actions and add. And just so you do know, it is right here as well, where it says create new design. You have two places to essentially start creating new customers ASAP, right? So I'm just going to do it from here. Once you do, this is what the screen is going to look like. So at that point in time, you're going to put in all of the information. So I'm just going to put in demo account. That's going to, you just put in the name, put in the address here. So I'm just going to use my test address that I always use around here for Staten Island. And then you're just going to put in a phone number and go from there, right? So phone number, email address, I'll just put in this one. And one key thing that you want to make sure when you're putting this in is the address itself. As you start to type the address in, make sure to select it from the drop-down menu. It's just going to make it easier. So once you do that, what you'll see is that the house is going to like pin immediately right here. Now, if this pin is wrong, you are allowed to just move the pin somewhere else and just go from there. Since I kind of did this one twice, that's why that just happened. But realistically, once that works out, you're good. You can press save. I'm just going to say no thanks here. And you'll be taken to the next screen, which is your consumption screen. So on the consumption screen, it's pretty easy. You have a couple of different options here. For starters, we have upload, so you can attach your files. So you can come in here, you can press the attach button, and you can press, if this is the utility bill, you can essentially highlight it, press open, and it'll upload it into the account. You can see now on here, it says utility file successfully uploaded, you're all good. Next thing you want to do is actually enter the consumption data. So if you already have the monthly breakdown, you can just put it in right here and go in month by month, you're fine. There are a couple of things you can do if you're using like Con Ed. Con Ed's really famous for just giving you like daily consumption. So if you want to put in like the average daily consumption here, you can, put in 12 and, whatever number you're seeing on the what's it called, on your utility bill, and just go from there, and it'll start to calculate everything itself. But for this case, I'm just going to put annual usage, and I'm actually going to give it an annual usage of 14,000. So once we do this, I'm going to just press estimate. And it's going to just estimate every month and go from there to get you to 14 grand. Right? So we go from there. Any questions on this part so far?
So far, so good.
No, looks good.
Yeah, pretty simple, right? So at that point, just press save. And once you do, you can go to the next screen right here. And then this is what Andrew was just talking about a second ago. This is where the design gets made. So you're going to have two options. Create a design request. This is where you should be going first. And then the solar designer is also on here, just in case. Have some fun, play with the solar designer a little bit later, but realistically.
Maybe we should do a training on that too.
Oh,
we can do that.
today.
We can do that separately. Unless you have time today, we can do that as well. But let's go through a DAS request. And then I don't know if we're going to get the DAS back though, unless you,
We're not gonna
what
get
we
the
could
DAS.
do?
What's that?
Why don't you can do the DAS if Kartik's not online?
Oh, that's true. Good point. Yeah, I could do that in the background. So because I was just going to create it on Solar Designer because it's just like doing the DAS anyway.
You're going to create on, what do you mean?
I was just going to I was going to show them how to do the design request, and then I was just going to create it really quick, pressing the create design button here because.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can do that because it's like the same thing. Yeah.
It's the same thing.
So
yeah.
we have one designer right now, just like Leviathan has one designer. He logs off he's probably offline by now, but he's on. So as long as you put in the evening, it'll be done by the time you wake up. But if you're doing a same day, guys, until we get a second designer, I would just ping Eric and Eric can do the design, or you can do the design yourself. So if you put a request in at 3 p.m. in the afternoon and you want it that night, just note that you'll probably have to ping Eric because we don't have evening coverage just yet. As this gets more popular, we're going to hire some more designers.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, just feel free to ping me at that point. I can always go into the design account and get that design done for you guys. I'll try to give you a quick overview on the Solar Designer, but first of all, we do want to concentrate on the design request section. So you'll press this design request. Here you're going to give it a name, so I'm just going to call it test account. Status is new. You're going to leave that blank. Who's doing this design? You're going to pick Sun-based engineer. When do you need this design? So this is what you're normally used to with MaxFit designs. Same day urgent within 2 hours, moderate within 2 to 4, and next day 24 hours plus. If you have a next day appointment, next day is fine. But if obviously like you're meeting someone at the door now, like I know Jeff and Dan, you guys are about to hit Nassau County and Long Island. If you get an appointment like today, you can just press same day urgent and we'll try to get that design to you like ASAP within those 2 hours. So you should be okay. But regardless of which, let me just put next day for now. You're going to select your panel. I had this cleaned up. I don't know exactly what happened right now, so don't worry about this. There's only 2 panels to pick from. It's your 405 QSO and the 430 SEG, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing else that you have in your inventory to go with. So I'm just going to go with the Hanwha QCells really quick. Inverter, the same thing. There's only 2 inverters to pick from. The Enphase IQ Plus, IQ8 Plus, or the IQ8 MC. If you're using the QCell, it's the Plus. If you're using the SEG, it's the MC. That's all you have to know, and that's the only way that it should be done. Everyone okay with that so far?
Yep.
Yep,
Okay.
and they both apply is there a difference between the lease and the cash or ownership when it comes
This
to
is
using the
Leviathan. We're
equipment?
only doing ownership programs.
Yeah,
Oh,
they only had PosiGen, unfortunately, safe, and it took.
Yep.
Remember how long it took us? 8 months, and then PosiGen went bankrupt.
Yeah.
So he's gonna probably. I think he's gonna get IGS next, or
He's been onboarded for 3 different TPO platforms.
oh,
But
nice.
since all of them take time, he's just trying to go whichever one comes back the fastest.
Yeah,
And then also have other options in the future as well.
and remember the red line is like I don't know. It's like something ridiculous, like 250 for. And we're out. That's the one thing I'm adding now at that top banner where it's. You'll see it in a little bit. I have the developer as we speak adding that red line, so it should be there hopefully by tomorrow for you guys. If not, you can just ping Eric and he'll let you know what it is. But it's around 250, I believe, plus or minus. I can't remember exactly because it floats. But yeah, I mean, and remember he's doing the ITC to the first week in November, so I would just go with loan if you plan on using Leviathan right now, since he's still doing the ITC.
Okay. So we're
gonna
talking
beat
about
any
the
lease.
the TPOs will be like next year, not this year, right?
Correct.
Probably that's probably a fair estimate, just because like he's going to be super focused on getting those installs done since he's letting people sign up all through October.
Okay. Sounds good.
So yeah, so you have your equipment there. So keep in mind, remember the 405 Q cell, IQA plus, the 430 seg, the MC. That's literally pretty much it. Battery wise, there's only 3 different battery components that you can use with not Seabright, I'm sorry, with Leviathan. It's the Powerwall 3, the Enphase 5P, and the 10C. Those are the only 3 options that they have. These 2 will be taken out pretty quickly from the menu. I'm just it's being updated in the background as we speak. The racking, don't worry about for now. That's more for TPO, so we don't have to worry about that at this moment. Now you will see an attach files button here. The attach files button essentially is if you have like a tree hypo or if there's like a blueprint that we're working off of. So like, let's just say that the house isn't built yet, or the house was just remodeled and it's not the same on the map, period, that kind of stuff. If you have blueprints at that point in time, you can press attach files, or if you have a tree hypo, you can upload the tree hypo there. So like, a little circle of the tree that's being removed, and then just make sure you put that on the notes here, like tree and circle, please remove. That's really bad grammar, but regardless of which, that's what you would just put something along those lines in the notes, and then just press submit design request. Now, I'm not going to submit it now just because I'm going to do the design in the background. Like I already did submit it, and just go from there. But any questions on the design request?
Oh, it's pretty straightforward.
Cool. And I love hearing that it's straightforward, because that means that this is working exactly how it's supposed to. So with that being said, the solar designer is where I'm going to go next, just to make this design really quick. And in the meantime, while I'm going through it, I'll kind of show you some like quick basics on the designer, just so you have a better idea of how it works when you get your hands on it. So solar designer itself is going to take a second to load, but it will open up on the new tab. Once it opens up, don't worry about the please log in part. You're fine there. You're going to essentially see your house right here, right? So this is the house that we're designing on at the moment. So a couple of things you want to look at. For starters, normally, if you were doing this like through a regular Sunbase account, you would go to consumption and, kind of go down the line. We don't have to do that because all of that was done in the design portal. So the only thing that you really have to worry about is coming right to the site section right here. And just go to Easy Roof. So if you go to Easy Roof right here, easiest thing to do is just this option focuses on only designing, like only having to essentially place the corners on the home, and it'll figure out the design for you. So corner here, and I like using this house because it's a pretty good test reference like case for what it looks like, because there's a little corner like in the middle here. So corner here, here, and here. So once it does that, it does a pretty good job of laying out what this roof actually looks like. And it gives you like, a good basis as to like what this roof actually is. So you guys can kind of see what I did there. One thing you do want to look at is that if you were to do, let me just actually delete this roof for a second. just going to delete all of these really quick. I'll do these again in a second. I just want to show you guys one quick thing. I should have just highlighted all of them. That was my mistake. Is if you were to do the same exact roof, and I'm just going to do it here, this like A-frame roof that we have next door, there's a quick function that you just have to do on this. So this one's a simple roof, right? Just all the corners. But what you notice is that it actually did a roof face here, and it did one here. So in these cases, you would just press this roof pitch type to flat so that it kind of aligns it with this roof. And then the same thing up here. I know it's like a random little thing, but it was just one of those things that I just want to make sure you guys are aware of in case you're coming across it. But let me just do this one again real quick. So easy roof on this one again. I'm not trying to make this perfect, but well, there we go. All right, cool. So once the roof is in, next thing you want to look at is dormers, if there are any to add. In this case, there really aren't, but if there was, I would just go like, you pick the dormer type. So like, let's say it's a hipped one. You can place it right here, and you can then at that point in time, play around with the measurements of it as well. So if it sticks out, if it goes like this, you know, you can kind of line it up to the map and just make it work as best as possible and go from there. But I'm going to erase that dormer since it doesn't exist. Going through the next thing is obstructions. So this is just like any design software. You can come in and actually do the obstructions for the home. So we can see that we have like an attic vent right up here, or like a rectangle. So I'm going to just press this, hold it down, and let go of it there. Height from roof. If you hold down the right mouse button, you can see the height of it just to get a better perspective. That's too tall for a like vent, so I'm just gonna kind of make it baseline with the roof, and that looks good to me. So I'm good there. If I did have to add any more, I can just like there's a pipe right here that I can add. So same kind of thing. You just hold it down, go from there, and that looks about right. And again, you can see the height from the roof and just kind of like go from there. So gives you a better idea. I'm going to just put those for now. Obviously, there are other obstructions, but I kind of want to move on to some of the other parts. And then from there, you can add trees as well. So again, tree here. I'm not going to worry about these, but you can kind of see where the trees are and just kind of like go off of that stuff. You can load the LiDAR here. So this will load LiDAR data from Google so that you can kind of see, make sure that everything here lines up with what you're looking at on the LiDAR. If you do have the LiDAR loaded, it'll also fit everything to LiDAR as well. You can see like here, it says fit to LiDAR. So if you press it, it'll kind of like work. You can see my roof here that I built is pretty on par with what the LiDAR is. It just have to be raised a little bit, but overall, like it's actually like quite good. So, you know, we're pretty good with this one. Luckily, I don't have to like worry too much about the design. This one is good just as is. So with that being the case and us being fine there, the next thing we want to do is just load those panels, right? So in the design that we requested a second ago, we requested the Q cells. So panels, add panel, and then you're just going to go here and you're going to load that Q cell 405 that we were just looking at. Same thing with inverter. We're just going to load that IQA plus and go from there. So once those are loaded, you're going to press the roof base that you want to design on. And you see this yellow line right here is your setback, right? So the setback is set at 18 inches. You can leave it this way because Long Island pretty much is 18 inches anyway. There are some setback lines that do have to kind of be moved away. And if that's the case, you just press the blue line right next to it and then just put the setback to what it's supposed to be. But anyway, once you select that roof, all you do is just press autoplay. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Before that, you can pick your panel orientation. So whether you want them landscape or portrait, once you figure out how you want them, you just press autoplace. It will place those panels for you. I always like pressing autoplace and then fill empty. What fill empty will do is you can select a different orientation. If there is space on that roof, it'll try to put that space on there for you. Or it'll try to put those panels on there for you, like in open spaces. So it's like a nice little neat trick to like do this pretty quickly. Same thing here. If you want to put in some panels, press auto place. Now in this case, it can't fit any there, but maybe we can fit some here. So auto place, it fit 3. And here I'm just going to leave it with that orientation. It fit a couple more, so we're all good, right? Like it's able to kind of like do that. Any questions on the designer so far? This part I'm rushing through. I can do a longer training on this maybe next week when we have some time, but just wanted to at least give you guys a preview of what it looks like. Any questions on this part so far? Okay, cool. So once this is all good, you can just press the simulate button. And right after that, you can press the save button as well. So I'm going to press save really quick, and I'm going to go back to proposal flow. So once I do go to proposal flow, what you'll notice is it's asking you if you want to refresh the designs. So I'm going to say yes. And now that I just did, you can see that my design actually showed up right here. Now, once you're on here, you have a couple of different options. You can upload a design. We don't have to worry about that. You can view the files, so like the bill you uploaded, that type of stuff. You can go to on-off mode, which we're going to do next anyway. You can open the designer, or you can clone it. Now, why would you want to clone a design? Does anyone have any kind of ideas as to why you might want to clone it?
So you don't have to go in and do all the obstructions and all that stuff again?
Yeah, exactly. So that's number one. And then any other reasons why you might want to clone it?
You might want to use different panels?
Not necessarily. So for panels, you would have to go back. But Safe, what do you got?
Compare pricing.
Compare pricing is one. So that's actually a really good point. Number two is actually something that you're going through right now with Ali. What's the reason that Ali needs a second proposal?
Oh, for the locale?
Exactly. Like he's planning on adding extra appliances in the house, right? So EVs, heat pumps, that type of stuff that maybe isn't in a normal proposal might be in a proposal that the homeowner has for like thinking of extra improvements for the house, right?
Yep.
So for that type of stuff, you may need a second one. So it's easier to clone it and work off of that, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
Cool. So once this is all good, you're just going to follow these like little check marks here, right? So the next unchecked check mark is max fit, and that's where we're going to go next. This is the selected design. We'll show you a clone in a little bit as well, but for now, I'm going to go to max fit. Give it a quick second. And Danny, this is what you were talking about earlier in regards to like, we want to make sure that this platform, this area right here, looks good on your iPad. So with that being said, it's going to spin around for a second. Tap your screen or the mouse once, and you're going to get your home. So once you get this home, you can zoom in a little bit more, and you can move this around, manipulate it. You can also hold down the right mouse button and take a look at it. A cool little trick. Well, actually, I'm going to work on getting the Leviathan roof colors loaded on here. But if you're selling a roof along with it and you want to picture the roof, you can just put like shingle roof here, and you can pick the roof color. So like now it's like, hey, this is what your home looks like with this roof. So it gives them like a better, more customizable view of like what their home would look like, so that they can picture it a little bit better. Any questions on any of this so far?
Oh, it's pretty cool. Great job.
Right? And honestly, this roof color part is kind of important because when you go over the contract, that's actually one of the things that needs to be loaded on there if you are doing a roof with Leviathan. If you really want to personalize it, you can let's just say they have a red brick house or something, or gray brick or whatever, you can do that. I like the way things look like on grass, so I don't know, it looks kind of cool. But you can kind of cater this to like really try to customize it to what a homeowner may or may not have. So kind of like go from there. But important thing that we really want to focus on is this on-off mode. So I'm going to go back to system right here. And what you can see here is that we have our 13997, which is what we normally put in the consumption part right here. Let me just go back to MaxFit. So we have our thing now, our consumption data. Now, if the consumption data, like let's just say that you edited something else and you need to change it, you just press override consumption. It'll override it, and we should be good from there. But now what you can start doing is you can start taking panels on or turning them on or turning them off, right? So easy enough for a rep to do. You can just press the irradiance view, and now you can see which panels are more productive than others. I want to remove the non-productive first and kind of go from there. So if I remove, let's say this one, you give it a second, it's going to start to calculate what the new offset is. And same kind of thing, you can start going through here. You'll start to see the offset change. If this design at this point in time looks good, now I'm ready to move to like the next page. Everything look good so far to everyone?
Yep, looks good.
Cool. So once that's good, you're going to press save right here. And then once you do press the save button, we're going to just go to adders really quick. Again, we're just following the line, right? Like as long as you follow this, you're going to get into the right place. And then this is where you have your adders, your incentives, and everything else. So this is what Andrew was talking about a little while ago. Here is your base PPW, right? So this isn't the floor. This is just the default number that it's going to at the moment, $3. So let's just say that you want to sell this at $5. So if we want to sell it at 5, we already know that this 11.34 kW system base cost, just solar panels and inverters, essentially installation by itself, is $56,700. Now, a couple of things you want to look at here is, here are some preliminary adders from Leviathan in regards to like, you know, full service replacement, meter replacement, all this type of stuff. So we have the adders here. So let's just say that this home also has a full service replacement, and they're also going to do a roof. So you can go roof here, and let's say the roof cost $8,700. Whoops, $8,700. It's going to start to add that to like the adder. So you can see that total adders on this project are 12,600. That's for the full service upgrade and for the roof. And then you can see that the incentives also reflect the base cost plus the adders. So if that works, that's great. Now, since we're basically going to be leading with Credit Human, and that's one other thing, guys, like just make sure that Credit Human is the one that you're using, since we're so tight on time with the end of the year. EFS is a good product. It's a great product, actually, but it does take a little bit longer to get approval for financing and approval on payments and all that other stuff. So it may slow your project down. So realistically, if you're going to do a Leviathan deal, I would personally do Credit Human. It makes it easier, and it's also a much easier explanation for the most part, because it's just a standard loan, if that makes any sense. So one thing that you're going to make sure to do is just, if you are doing Credit Human, to just press this miscellaneous adder here of $495. That's the application fee for Credit Human. And then once all of the adders are in here, you're just going to press save. Any questions on this part so far?
No, makes sense.
Cool. I'm also going to add like a custom adder on here as well. I haven't added it on yet, but I'll add a custom one on here, and then, you know, yeah, I think I'm probably going to stop at custom. I don't think we need to do anything else to make it easier for you guys. There is an incentive screen on here, but the incentives only have two, right? The state tax credit and the federal ITC. There's nothing else on there, so really no need to like go to the incentive section. You're fine here. And you can already see that they're selected here. So you see the federal and the state, so they both show up. So once all of that is done, you're just going to press save one more time, and we can go next to financing. So we'll go to financing, and now you have your options here. So you've got cash. Cash is easy. You know, you already know what it is. You have your cost. You're good to go, and you leave it at that. Don't worry about the lease or the PPA right now, or even the bridge. Again, our focus right now is getting it installed before the end of the year. We want to keep things simple, and we don't want to have anything crazy in regards to like financing holdups when it comes to like installations. So we want to select loan, Credit Human, and then the 20-year 7.99. Once you do this, you'll normally get a menu right here that has the monthly price come up, and you should be able to see it from there. So I'm just going to press save changes for now. Go to the next one, and then here is your design, right? So now we're on the proposal screen. So we're going to view the active proposal. So you just press that right there. Once you do, here's the proposal. There's a full screen button right here. This will open up a brand new tab. Once you've opened up this new tab, you can go through the proposal, right? So here will be a section where you can put your picture in. Danny, like I know you had your picture on the Infinity one through Apollo. You can use that same exact picture on here if you want to. You know, Jeff, I think you had a picture as well with like a solar panel or something like that on the Infinity one. You can do the same exact thing here. Couple of things about like the installer. Probably gonna have to turn off this section right now, but some solar eligibility stuff here. So essentially you're just going through the proposal that you would normally have. This looks a lot cleaner and a lot nicer than like the ones that we make really quickly on Canva. You know, just kind of like go from here. So here's your solar design. This gives you another option to also go to that on-off mode that we were just on. So this is more customer facing because they're not seeing PPW, they're not seeing any of that stuff. They're just seeing a solar design. I wouldn't turn things on off from here, but in the end, you do have the option to at least kind of like have a homeowner view this section, which doesn't show PPW or anything like that. Like you always want to make sure that when you're on this screen, it's stuff that's more finalized, and like maybe they do want to add that one more extra panel, but you know, kind of just keep it here. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Cool.
Your
So I'm
screen
gonna go back to the proposal
commission
really
and stuff
quick.
like that. How does that work
So,
again?
I'll go over that in a second because that's a good question. That's something that Andrew was kind of talking about a little while
Is that
ago.
what he was mentioning? Okay, cool. No,
Yeah. So like he said, we
Yeah.
have engineers literally working in the background right now so that this screen up here, it'll say base PPW is $5, which is like your commission PPW. And then you'll see like a red line PPW here. So your difference would just be that minus the red line.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll just do it yourself. Yeah. Leviathan took forever to get us the formula because he's just been so busy with installs, but he just got it to me. So I got the engineer working on it now. So I'm hoping that have that released tomorrow. You'll have that. But for now, if you put one in, just ping Eric. He can quickly do it in the workbook and be like, oh, it's 2, whatever it is.
Yeah,
If
I mean, I
loads
have
go
that
out,
workbook here, like
Yeah.
loaded all the time. So
takes him
if you
2
guys need one,
seconds.
it's
Yeah,
there.
he just all he needs to know is the panel, how many panels, and the contract and the contract cost, and he can tell you what it is.
Yep, exactly.
So like, don't feel bad. Just call Eric, text Eric, and he can tell it to you. And then ideally, it will be in there tomorrow, but definitely this week.
Yeah, and so solar design here, again, you can kind of see how everything works, right? Like it shows you the number of panels, production, system size, everything is here. So it's very clear for the homeowner to see. You can see the consumption data, you can see the offset, like everything here is very simple for the homeowner to like take a look at. This goes over like incentives or like the actual system cost, 69 and change. What happens when like you get your federal incentives, and then what your net cost is. So like it kind of gives you a better flow as to like how everything looks. And then here you can start to see, okay, here's your New York State tax credit. Here is your federal ITC. Here's what your loan looks like. And here are your numbers. You know, your first payment is 606. And then after that, it goes to 389. And if they pay the incentives back into it, sorry, it goes to 389. And kind of like go from there. So once all of this is all set, and homeowner says, hey, this looks good, we're good to move forward. Then at that point in time, you can press the 3 lines right up here. You can press select eDocs. And then at that moment in time, you can just go right here to document 1, solar installation agreement, and you're going to go to prefill. Now, prefill right now, I have someone actually loading the contract in, so that's why it's giving me that saved button. If that was the case, if the contract was fully loaded on there, we would have a pop-up come up, and on that pop-up, you would be able to then put in the sections of the contract that need to be edited. So like, if there's roof work included in it, we would need to know like, this contract includes roof work, the color that the homeowner picked is X, and you know, kind of like go from there. If they're doing like electrical work, this has a full service upgrade, you know, and et cetera, like that kind of stuff. So there is like a breakdown that has to be put into the Leviathan contract in regards to like scope of work or like extras that are going into the project. That's what that pre-fill section is for. And then once it's all good, you're just going to press send and it'll send it to the homeowner so that they can sign it and go from there. But that's pretty much proposal flow. It's, like I said, very simple overall. To your question before, Dan, once you have your base PPW here, like your commission PPW, we'll have like the red line somewhere around here so that you can kind of see what that is. And then the only other thing that we wanted to go over is like, if you did need to clone a design, you can just press this clone design button. And now you can see that this one says solar design copy. So maybe I want to call this one with EV. And now that this is selected, maybe I do want to do like a max fit with the entire roof laid out, not just that one section. And I can also now go into consumption right here. And let's just say that the consumption with a heat pump or with an EV is 15,000. If I press estimate here, sorry, that was on my internet there. But if I were to go 15, all right, perfect. So it did that. So now if I go to 15,000 and I go to designs, this one is selected, perfect. Now if I go to max fit, and this is what I did want to show you guys, you still see the old consumption there. You're just going to press override consumption, and now it's going to update to the new consumption. So once you do that, it'll update to that one, and then you'll be all good. That's what it's going off of. The same thing, like the adders themselves are still going to be here, but maybe you need to do like an EV charger now or something like that. And if that was an option here for like an adder, you can put it in. I know Leviathan does do EV ones, but I don't think they have like a set cost for it. And then kind of like go from there. Or maybe this one's being EFS, so you're going to do EFS instead, and now you're kind of going from there. But in this case, let me just choose this extra adder here. And same thing, you would go loan, you would go credit human, you would go 20-year 799, and once all of that is good and done, you would just go to the proposal, and now this is a new proposal based off of the updated design. If you want to go back to the original one that you did before, you would just go to designs, select design on this one, and now if you go back to proposal, it's going to load the old proposal that you had before. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah, that makes sense, Eric.
Cool. Like I said, trying to keep this as quick and easy as possible so that it's very easy for you guys to just go into a home and get things moving like today. But that's pretty much the proposal flow software, or platform. Any other questions on any of this, like how it works, or just anything that maybe came to you as I was going through the training?
No, I'm sure there'll be more kind of questions and stuff once we start doing the actual designs,
For sure.
But it seems pretty straightforward, do a few of them and should be good. Yeah, no, looks great. Good job, guys.
Yeah, no, the team did a really good job putting this thing together. It was a lot of work, but they definitely put a product together that's going to really be easy for clients and even for homeowners to understand. So overall they did a great job.
Nice. Yeah, no, further than that, as of now, this seems to be I'll have to just play around with it for a little bit, but yeah, it seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and look, as things come up, and I mean they will, because you're the first group that's really beta testing this out in the field, things are going to come up, and when they do, just let me know ASAP so that we can get our development team on it immediately, so that they can either get it fixed or whatever. One thing I will say is if something does come up, if you could take a screenshot or even a quick video grab of what's going on your screen, that also helps our developers fix it as quick as possible, because they may not be able to replicate it, but if they see it, they can at least have a better idea of the exact issue that you're having.
Got it. Okay. Is there anything else I had to go through? No, I think that's pretty much it, Eric. I didn't really Up any questions as of now?
Cool. Anyone else? Jeff?
I'm here with Jeff in the car here. We're just
Oh,
listening out
perfect.
now. So, yeah, we're just waiting to get out to the doors here.
No, yeah, all good. Like Dan said, when we start playing with it, I'm sure we'll have questions.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, when that
Straightforward.
happens, that's the whole point. We want this to just be something straightforward that you guys can like pick up, use immediately, and go from there.
Got it.
Perfect.